Going to vote is better than going to church. Don't misunderstand me or the mosque. If you were going to the church or the mosque and there was katakata, like we say in Nigeria, and you couldn't get there, you know what I mean? On this note, let me thank all the pastors, imams, reverend fathers, bishops, who have sensitized their brethren and parishioners on the need to get their voter's card.
The message is hate. The message is fear. The message is division.
Of Ngige is superior minister, and because he has failed as a minister, because he's inactive as a minister, because he is not visible as a minister, because he's not known as a minister, he is mistaking his redundant office of Minister of State, understand, for the office of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. No Nigerian.
Singapore today is building the biggest port under the sea that they will launch in 2050. That's where Soludo is saying we should go. So if they borrow money to do that, you go and borrow money for shaku shaku dance. You're finished.
Well, Kanayo has urged Nigerians to go and get their PVC after the video of Nigerian veteran Nollywood actors and actresses have endorsed Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Kanayo is now urging Nigerians to get their PVC to get the 2023 presidential election rights. Details in the video.
How have you been? Permit me to take a minute or two of your time to pass a message. I think the Nigerian voter is the cheapest commodity in the Nigerian state. Just hear me out. A Nigerian politician will give thousands of dollars to an ill-informed delegate who does not know how to write his name or her name, or the aspirant to the political office, or the political party. Yet, when it gets to the real election, the same politician will give you 2,000 naira, 5,000 naira, or 10,000 naira, as the case may be, to cast your vote for him. You sell your vote. You mortgage the future of your children. I don't know of any other definition of a cheap commodity. Please, stop being cheap. The current state of our country calls for urgent action if we must save our fatherland. Federal universities are closed. Nigeria is borrowing money to pay its workers because we are not earning anything anymore from oil. We are not producing, but we are consuming. Yes. People are being kidnapped or killed every day and everywhere. Price of foodstuff have gone beyond the reach of the average Nigerian. The women know because they're the ones who go to the market in Nigeria. The men will always say, I gave you money last week. My brother, things have changed. Prisoners are being set free to go and continue their evil enterprise. The list is endless. You and I have the power to save our country. No one can do it but you. Do not keep saying your vote will not count. First, go and perform your civic responsibility of casting your vote. Going to vote is better than going to church. Don't misunderstand me or the mosque. If you were going to the church or the mosque and there was katakata, like we say in Nigeria, and you couldn't get there, you know what I mean? On this note, let me thank all the pastors, imams, reverend fathers, bishops, who have sensitized their brethren and parishioners on the need to get their voter's card. Kudos to you. And most especially to the young men I see out there who have gone to the marketplaces and open squares to, on their own, urge and sensitize other citizens to get their PVCs. Kudos. Everything is not about prayer, my brothers and sisters. There is no in Jesus' name when it gets to voting. That's why you're saying in Jesus' name, and these guys are doing the same thing they've been doing a long time. There is no voting on the social media. It's a physical exercise. You must be there physically. If by now you have not gotten your permanent voter's card, you have become part of the problem of Nigeria. I tell you that. Please, my brothers and sisters, friends, well-wishers, go get your PVC before the INEC deadline elapses. It's also come to my notice. People, because INEC has extended, are relaxed. And in the usual Nigerian fashion, they are waiting for the last minute. And that's when there will be rush. Save yourself that wahala. Go get your PVC. Let's save Nigeria in 2023. Thank you very much. God bless you.
There is a big confusion in PDP political party as the rift between Keyamo and Dino Melaye is yet to be settled. I want you guys to watch these particular videos on how Senator Dino Melaye responded to Keyamo after what he said to Atiku is not worthy to become the president of Nigeria. Details in the video.
Yeah, fellow countrymen and women, I'm here to address you once again in the course of our nation's history and to react specifically to Keyamo's myopic, porous, parochial, and intellectually stagnant interview on Channels TV. I mean, that is shameful, very, very embarrassing, and a disgrace to his children, because a man like Keyamo will open his gutters and talk to the former Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, one single Nigerian with multiple competencies, a man indoctrinated with the act of civil administration and the rudiment of politics, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Keyamo's inactive ministerial sojourn is affecting his medulla oblongata, because if he has succeeded as a minister, he won't be talking the way he's talking. Ask Nigerians today, what portfolio is Keyamo holding? Many Nigerians will tell you, we don't even know the ministry where Keyamo is working, because he's redundant, he's inactive, he is not visible, and he has been completely consumed by the aura of Ngige, his superior minister. And because he has failed as a minister, because he's inactive as a minister, because he is not visible as a minister, because he's not known as a minister, he is mistaking his redundant office of Minister of State, understand, for the office of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. No Nigerian who is educated, who is intellectually okay, who is mentally fit, will insult the office of, or abuse the office of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because what he has attacked is not Atiku Abubakar, is the office of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that is a constitutional office and number 2 office in this country. Because Keyamo is a commercialized conscience, because he has monetized his life, that is why he will not understand that the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria have some ministries, agencies, and parastatals of government under his direct supervision and overview and oversight. That is why he will not know that the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria presides over the Federal Executive Council meetings in the absence of the President. That is why we will not know that in the absence of the President, the Vice President actually is the acting President with executive powers anytime the President is not in the country. So what he has done is that he has abused the office of the Vice President of Nigeria as a lawyer who understands the constitutionality of that office, who understands the enormous responsibilities of that office. Anyone who is a Vice President is fit to be a President. And again, will Keyamo now say that he's also writing off the business success or the success of Atiku Abubakar in the corporate world? Will Keyamo also say that Atiku have not succeeded internationally as a businessman? Will Keyamo now say that the experience of Atiku in the manufacturing sector, in the banking sector, in logistics, in humanities, in banking, in aviation, what sector has Atiku not succeeded? A Vice President after 20 years, understand, who left office in 2007, is still moving like a sitting Vice President. all his staff intact till today. A man with such phenomenal capacity, with corporate experience, you just want to sit down because either you are acting under sekpe or you are acting under the influence of marijuana. You just smoke your janjaweed and you think you open your mouth and talk because you are defending a man who takes more drugs than food today. It is unfortunate that Keyamo, who I question is senior advocate of Nigeria, because nobody who was properly taught, who is properly brought up, will sit down and relegate the office of the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and even a lawyer for that matter. It's a shame, Keyamo, and I'm challenging you to a debate. You are just talking babblers. You are talking rubbish. But I want to assure you that Nigerians know who you are. Nigerians know that you are a commercialized character. You are a failed politician. You have never won Keyamo never won an election, even in the primaries, not to talk of a general election. You have never won an election in your life. You have never been a councillor. You have never been a member of the House of Assembly. You don't even understand the rudiments of politics and democracy. So you are unfit, incompetent to discuss democracy, politics, not to talk of our highly respected Atiku Abubakar. But this is not a day to talk. I challenge you to a debate, and when we sit down, then I will break you like this, break you into pieces. Unfortunately, I'm doing this over social media, but I wait for an invitation by Sheung or any other platform to sit down with you so that I will expose your ignorance and I will expose you to Nigerians and know how empty you are. Very, very, very unfortunate. Whether you like it or not, you cannot take the credit, the experience of Atiku Abubakar away from him. Even you say Atiku Abubakar have no experience. Atiku Abubakar is running for the presidency, not for the second time or third time. So he understands his roots better than the political virgin, Tinubu, that you are supporting, who is running for presidency for the first time and sees it as his life entitlement and sees it as his retirement benefit for supporting Buhari. But Atiku is running on his credentials. He's not running because of entitlement. He's not running because of his support for any party. He's running because he's got the credentials and he is a team player. He is a talent hunter. He is a leader par excellence. He has the rudiment of civil administration and the rudiment of politics. And I want to tell you, Keyamo, enough is enough. If not, that young way say go mature. Now there will go eat you.
Well, to round it up, this is a flashback videos of Babatunde Fashola told Nigerians not to re-elect Jonathan because his government couldn't keep $1 at 125 naira. Now, it is now begging Nigerians again that Tinubu is the right person. After under the APC government, $1 is now equivalent to 560 naira. Details in the video.
I'm not sure what he would be urging if this government had not failed. If they had managed the economy well, and the dollar was still trading at 120, 125, it's going to be a hard sell for General Buhari to tell you that he will reduce it to 50. Because you would then love to keep what you have. Not so. This administration has failed to keep the promises that they made to you. And so, because they have no record to present before you, the message is hate, the message is fear, the message is division.
Happen. Who is the best person to drive that vehicle? In my own opinion, Asiwaju is the best person to drive that vehicle because I've worked with him at very close quarters. I know his capacity, I know his tenacity, and I think that...
Well, I wouldn't want to leave you guys without giving you these particular videos of Peter Obi and what he said. I want you guys to pay good attention to know that his visions and ambition to become the president is of good thing to Nigeria. Details in the video.
Let me start by thanking Pastor Poju for what you're doing. Ordinarily, this type of organization would have cost government millions to do. And that is part of what we're saying when Bismarck said we have to stop issue of conferences. I thank them, like I said before, my two senior brothers have spoken, and they are respected people, economists, wonderful people. So for me to come after them, when I'm not an economist, I'm just a trader. I'll only just add, because I've had the opportunity of serving and be able to say, well, I thank Professor Soludo. He showed clearly that the problem is politics and showed how we can go. But for me, I was reading the Chinese ambassador's letter a few days ago. He said you have to look at where you are and be able to then say where you want to go. So for me, really, is that as Nigerians, as we look forward to what Professor Soludo said that we should do, look at tomorrow, it is important that we look at where we are today as well. And what are we going to do with the people that are in Nigeria today? And then from them, we'll lay the foundation of that tomorrow. Today, Nigeria is a home to the highest number of poor people. It says that Nigeria have moved from 86 million to 98 million persons living in extreme poverty. In fact, we are growing at 5% annually. Every minute, 6 Nigerians fall into poverty. Wow. Just a decade, a few years ago, China, with a population of 1.4 billion, and India, with a population of 1.3 billion, had more people living in extreme poverty than Nigeria. By the year 2000, China had 500 million people living in extreme poverty. But by just adopting and strict implementation of Millennium Development Goals, they've been able to pull 439 million people out of poverty. Just in 2012, India had 276 million people living in extreme poverty. Today, they have less than 76. Nigeria now have more people living in poverty than these two big countries combined. And that is our crisis. And this can be collaborated when you look at our own HDI. If you look at the summation of human development, is Human Development Index. This is a measure of how a system is developing. And it's categorized into very high, high, medium, and low. And if you look at it today, Nigeria would have over 157 in position, is among the low. And if you look at the critical components of it, there's 3 of them. One is life expectancy. The global life expectancy today is 75 years. Nigeria is 54. 20-something years below. In fact, Nigeria is the 3rd lowest. It is very clear. The second is education. Nigeria today is home for the highest number of out-of-school children, 13.2 million. In fact, if you look at what the minister is saying is correct, it should be about 15 million. And if you look at it, of all the countries I'm going to use to show an example of where we are and what we want to do, which is countries that are within the BRICS nation and countries that are within the Mint nation, Nigeria is the only country where you have such a low literacy rate of 51%. All of them are on the average of over 90%. Nigeria is 51. And this is because of our own gross lack of the impact of education, which is what the previous speakers were saying. Number 3 is per capita. Per capita, as the professors have mentioned, is a measure, is what you can call a measure of living, because it's a measure of individual wealth of any country. Nigeria, unfortunately, is one of those countries where the per capita has been falling for years now. In the recent IMF report, it says Nigerian per capita will actually continue to decline until about 2025. So it's not stopping. You could see that in 2015, we were 2,500. Today, we are 1,920. This is about poverty. If you look at security, Nigeria is now the third most insecure place to live on the surface of the earth. We are now behind Afghanistan and Syria, and with daily killings, banditry, and kidnapping, it is being speculated that Nigeria will soon overtake them.
Competition on insecurity.
Our underemployment and unemployment is one of the worst in the world. People will tell you it's about 25, it's actually over 30%. And with over 22 million young people in their productive age doing nothing, it is very worrisome. And of course, concomitant with all these devices we are seeing today, whether it's banditry, whether it's mass killing, kidnapping, and all sorts of things. These are what we are going through as a country. Our debt is escalating every day. If you recall, on May 1, 2017, at this platform, I warned and cried about the debts we are piling. Because I was not an economist, because I hadn't had the opportunity of working in any of the Brentwood institutions, the then Minister for Finance said, no, that we are going to spend our way out of recession. Today, all the economists at the Brentwood institutions are complaining about our debts. We are now almost at $28 trillion, $90 billion with little or nothing to show for it. What is even worse, the debt is growing daily, and consequently, the service, what we require to service it, is worsening. And I'll give you an example. In 2017, we spent $1,630 billion naira to service our debts. In 2018, we spent $2,090 billion naira. Within 1 year, it was 460 billion naira. 460 billion naira in 2018 was 90.3% our budget for education. And the same amount was 125.6% our budget for health, just to service debt. And we are still piling up more debts. It's still growing. There are some economists and some Nigerians and some people who say, oh, our debt is not our problem, our debt to GDP is low, our debt to this is low. I don't disagree entirely with them. Our debt to GDP is about 25%. It's low when you compare it to other developing nations whose GDP is actually in the region of 40-50. But it's not about debt, it's what you use the money to do that is the crisis. Yes, you can say our debt is low, but when you have little or nothing to show for it, then you have a problem because you're borrowing for consumption. We have countries, when we said about countries that are wonderful today and good today, one of them everybody cites is Singapore. Singapore debt to GDP is over 100%. Over 100%, that's 115% of their GDP is their debt. But what is the difference? If you go and see Singapore, in Constitution of Singapore, it says you can only borrow debt for capital project that will pay itself back. So all the debts they've borrowed over the years were invested. They are proper. They know where it is. Singapore today is building the biggest port under the sea that they will launch in 2050. That's where Soludo is saying we should go. So if they borrow money to do that, you go and borrow money for shaku shaku dance. You're finished. So that is a crisis we face as a nation. Because of the way we are borrowing money and what we are doing with it, it is not impacting on our growth. We are one country that is borrowing money, it's not impacting on our growth. It's not a part of per capita. Nobody's seen it. We didn't see the bridges and everything that it was used to for. So our debt is worsening. And we
If it's your first time coming across our video, take a moment of your time to subscribe. For all our returning subscribers, may God continue to bless you for supporting the growth of this channel. You know, guys, I always appreciate if you comment and hit the subscribe button. Until we meet again, peace out.
Family, don't forget to subscribe to get notified. And as you they share your support, now say God bless you too.
Sense on the bed.
Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV. Oh, Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV, Plan B TV.